I'm all about the good vibes, the good vibes. We bout to have a good time, a good time. Leave my problems all behind, all behind. We living out the good life, yeah. I ain't gotta worry about a thing.
Oh no.
Had some obstacles I overcame.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to ever be the same.
Oh Lord.
Cause when we change the mind, we change the game. Coming through clutch. Coming through clutch. Coming through clutch.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Kenny Clutch with another episode on the Clutchvision podcast. I got a very, very special guest in the building tonight that's going to lay some bombs down for you guys. She is with Eric Thomas and Associates. I call her the queen of the Beastmode digital platform. We got the one and only Nicky S in the building. What's going on, mama? How you doing?
What's poppin'? How you?
I'm chilling, man. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Absolutely. When the fam hits me up, I gotta show up.
Yes. So everyone that's listening, please make sure you like, subscribe, click that bell. Make sure you give me a thumbs up as it goes up to the recommended on YouTube. If you're here listening to this on Spotify or Apple Music, Google Podcasts, go ahead and leave me a nice little star review on the podcast and share this with your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your auntie, your stepdaughter, your stepdad, your dog, your cat. I don't care who it is. Share it with somebody who wants to go ahead and listen to that knowledge and add some value to your life. So, Nicky S., first and foremost, how is everyone doing during this quarantine?
Blessed, safe, and healthy, for sure.
Awesome.
For sure.
Awesome. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And I love the MJ. I'm an MJ.
Yo, you know, I had to come out with it. It's you know, you guys stay relevant.
Yeah.
So like we were talking about earlier, no one sees me watch The Last Dance with a Jordan jersey.
Right.
Like no one sees. So I can have the J's, I can have the hat, everything. Ain't nobody seeing me.
Right.
Nobody seeing me. So the fact that you're recording this is gonna be out on YouTube and stuff.
Yes.
I had to show love to the GOAT,
yes,
right? Because it is his time.
Let's get that right. The GOAT.
The GOAT. Yeah, listen.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean? But let's real recognize real.
Yeah.
He is the GOAT.
Yes.
There are people after that have done it well.
Yes.
I'm still gonna go with MJ all day.
And I've been
rings don't lie.
Yeah, and I've been watching some of the sports. They've been saying that, episode 9 and 10 are actually going to solidify, his greatness as being the greatest of all time. A lot of people have been saying, like, you're going to understand why seasons 97 and 98 were so, proving the fact that he was the number one. What's your take on that?
Well, so I never doubted that he wasn't. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel as if there's a GOAT for each era. So just because Kobe did his thing, rest in peace to Kobe, just because LeBron's doing his thing and everything like that, you can't neglect or take away from what was already laid out.
Right? Exactly. Yeah.
So like, you can't deny how many rings my man has.
Right.
You can't deny the stats that he has. You can't deny some of the things that he's done. And just because there may be people afterwards that break one of his records, two of his records, may have certain amount of rings or whatever like that, that doesn't take away from his greatness. So it doesn't matter what comes after. For that season, he is still the GOAT. He is still, the same thing with Muhammad Ali, same thing with Mike Tyson. Any other sport, they have their seasons. They dominated that season. So if you dominate, you're GOAT, hands down.
Hands down. Now, I want to get into a little bit real quick to introduce you to the audience. For those that may not know you, I've seen you on social media killing it, dropping bombs, giving people, information on how to up their level on the social media game, on the business level, in all aspects, and especially from a visual standpoint as well, too. And we'll get into all of that. But what I want to, now people see what you are now, but what I want to know is I want to hear about Nicky S version number 1.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Version number 1, because, we see it all the time. We can see you know, LeBron or Mike at their greatness. But what happened before then? Like, I want to know, you know, what was the process and how did you get to the level where you're at now? What was Nicky S version 1?
So version 1 was a kid from Queens,
Okay.
right? Version 1 was somebody who was in the military for 9 years, who got out and not necessarily knowing exactly what to do, right? Had the skill level of an IT, right? I worked IT, which is completely opposite of what I do now, right? But really finding the way of what I wanted to do and not understanding it, and taking a leap into creativity. I think the first thing when it came to version 1 of me was finding myself and figuring out what is my lane of creativity. I didn't necessarily start out the game as a copy. You know, I started out as understanding that storytelling is a big deal of anything that we do. Like podcasts tell stories, pictures tell stories, blogs tell story, like everything about us, clothes tell stories, right? So figuring out on the very front end of what is my story, like what is the story that I'm trying to give out to the world, was version 1 of me trying to figure all that out before I completely walked into it, and like just continue to stay consistent in the game with how my story is right now. So that's what I'll say.
Wow. Yeah. So you guys, when did Beast Mode Digital actually come about? Was it something with you and Eric Thomas? Like, did you guys collaborate on that? And for those that don't know who Eric Thomas is, you know, one of the greatest speakers of our time, hands down. Like, you know, there's no debating that. Like, this man has been doing it for years, decades rather, in the game, motivating and helping people, you know, all across the world. So make sure you guys go ahead and follow Eric Thomas. Shout out to ET and Associates. So take us through that. Like, you how did you meet ET and create Beast Mode?
So when it came to meeting E, I actually volunteered on all his events. I joined his online university, Breathe University, and just served, right? Anywhere there was like a task, anything that needed to be done, I wanted to make sure I was in front, like, I got it, right? To the point where they were like, yo, you want to do the social media? I was like, I got it, right? I got it. I'm already addicted to my phone. I'm already addicted to social media. Like, pass me the rock. I'm out here, right?
Let me shoot that.
Right. So from there, we took the account. It was about 300K at the time. Within a year and a half, we made it to 1 million followers, right? And when Beast Mode formed, it was literally because if you know E, he really is about the underdog, right? Really catering and getting them motivated and everything like that. And for me, it was about the underdog and getting their personal brand to the levels of E, right? So it's not necessarily, I'm not big on companies. I'm not big on top brands like that. They have that. And so it's not even about money per se, but it's really about taking somebody's idea, their message, creating that story that will then later on create that brand, right? Because I feel as everybody has a brand within themselves, they just don't know it yet. They don't know that them being their true authentic self is really the true key of creating a lasting brand. Right? So when we created Beast Mode Digital, it was basically just to take the formulas that we've done and offer it up to the world. So we go from, like, I'm really big on teaching you and doing it yourself kind of thing, because that's the first step. You never want somebody to take your brand because that's not theirs. Like, they're never going to treat it like yours. Like, they're only going to be like, okay, this is a job. Boom. Here you go. Here's a picture. Here's this. I posted it. Right. I'm really big on, you have to first find yourself, understand who you are, because who you are is the brand, not what you're selling, not your services. It's really who you are.
Right.
And once you figure that out, everything else sells on its own. Like I could drop soap and they're like, yes, soap.
Right.
I'm buying Beastmode digital soap. I feel creative.
Right.
Washing myself with this soap. And I'm like, what? But everything is a brand. You got to think about it. Like, you go talk about Louis Vuitton. They're really not like they plastered themselves and they branded themselves as luxury.
Yes.
But you're going to tell me that it costs that much to make that bag?
Right.
Absolutely
Right. It really
not.
don't. Right.
They had a story. They had a vision. They sold the spirit, like my man CJ always says, right? They sold the spirit. And so now they could charge whatever they want because they have people wrapped into their story.
Right.
And that you could do that with now it's people love to connect with people.
Right.
And so that was my big whole thing. Like I need to make sure people understand that it's not top brands who could only do this. It could be an 8-year-old making $28 million on YouTube that can do this too.
Talk about it. Right. And you know what I get a lot of in my DMs, people will hit me up and they'll be like, Ken, how do I get like 100,000 followers? How do I go viral? And I'm just like, yo, B, well, the first step, stop trying to go viral. that's
short minds. Yeah. Right. Short minds, short. It's the craziest thing. Like, people think, and I get it. Like it's a microwave era.
Yeah.
We look at the most dumbest things go
stupid. Yeah.
So authentic people like, oh, well, if this dumb cat,
right.
If this fight, if all stuff goes viral, yo, I really got something that could change the world.
Right.
Why do they have hundreds of followers, hundreds and thousands of followers, and I'm at like 1,225?
Right.
And they're all friends, family, and bots. Like,
right.
But at the same time, if you had all those followers, would you know what to do with it?
Right. That's a good point.
People don't really understand that if you don't know how to cater to one person of your following, you can't cater to millions of people.
Wow.
You can't. Like you're going to, that's so many different, that's millions of pain points. That's millions of attitudes. That's millions of personalities. That's millions of trauma.
Right.
Like, can you speak on all that?
Right. Right.
And if you can't, concentrate on that one person that just followed you. Like, see why they followed you. Have a conversation with them. What products or services can you add to their lives that is going to add value?
Right.
Because your monetary goals are not going to be theirs. Like, you're trying to make a bag. We're all trying to make a bag. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? But you're calculating your bag with the followers. And you can ask any top influencer, the amount of followers doesn't equal up to the amount that's in their bank account.
Right. Talk about it, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like, you know, it's like when you look at it from a financial standpoint as well, too, you know, people always say all the time, like, oh, I wish I had $1 million. What do you do with $1 million? Do you even know what to actually do with that money?
Right.
Like, can you take $1 million and turn it into 10? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, focus on what you have, like you just said, you know. And what I noticed about Beastmode Digital is that you guys just don't take on anybody. Like, you guys are very calculated with who you take on, and you don't, you know, you're not overzealous in bringing in more people just because you can. Like, you can if you want to, but you what I've noticed is that you don't. So if you can explain a little bit more, elaborate on why you don't take on more than you can actually chew.
Because it's not a money thing for us. That's the thing. It's really about creating long-lasting brands.
Right.
And so I'm instantly not interested if you're like, you come here with like 1,000, 2,000 followers and you're like, I need social media management and I need to get this amount of followers.
Mm.
What's your goal on social media? To get this amount of followers so I can make this amount of money.
Mm.
I'm not interested.
Right.
Like, I need to see the big picture.
Right.
Like, because when I go all in, I go all in. Like, I create different ideas and strategies based off your goal and your vision to impact people. There's 3 reasons why we get into social media: impact, to make a bag, or both. Right? I'm only interested in people who are trying to do impact or impact and money. I'm not interested in people who are just trying to make money.
Right.
I'm not, because that's short term.
Exactly.
Like, that's super short term. You see what people are doing and you're thinking that's you, but you're not looking back at how long it took them.
Exactly. Right.
So don't think because you come to beast mode, you're instantly going to get this following and everything like that. No, we're going to build you inside and out.
Right.
Like, there's going to be some communication problems you have in real life that we're going to address right here. So when it goes in virtually, you don't have those problems no more. You could create those relationships, because if you have problems creating relationships in real life, you're going to have problems creating relationships virtually. It's not 2 different worlds. You just try to make it to 2 different worlds.
Yeah. And I've noticed, people don't, like, in this world, they're like, okay, they're living in this world and they think that they can probably take everything with them. Many people do. They think like, okay, yeah, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I'm going to be able to take everything with me when I die. Yeah. I'm under the mindset of, like Paul said in Timothy, like, he was born in this world with nothing. You're going to leave this world with nothing. The question is, what are you going to do in between? So that, to your point, what type of impact are you going to leave here? Because you can't take that with you at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, I tell people all the time, like, I'm all about the impact. If I can impact at least one person today, I'm doing my job. Whether that's my wife, whether that's my children, whether it's a person in my DM, it's all about the impact on in the life that I'm leading. And I say that because, in 2018, I tell the story all the time, and my son was diagnosed with leukemia, my youngest son. And it was like, it was the craziest time of my life where everything switched. 1 minute I'm running a dance studio and I'm providing a service for dancers and young entertainers. And then the next minute I'm in a hospital dancing for my son for 149 days straight. The mindset shift, the impact shift, what I'm saying? And it's like, you just can't go into life just thinking like, I can just do whatever I want for the money. It wasn't even about the money anymore. This is about my son's life. Yeah. So for those that are listening to this right now, I ask the question, like, what type of impact are you leaving? Because just me dancing in the hospital with my son left an impact not only on his life, but millions of people around the world. Yeah. And it was all because, number one, I was staying authentic and true to who I was. Now, the question I have for you, Nicky, is, the authenticity of, how important is being authentic? Because people are out here and they just be making up hoopla and it don't be real.
Man, so I often go about this topic and I get like real boiled up, so I'm gonna try to not rev up. But the thing is that we look at social media as if it's this world that we can create. Right. Because there are certain securities that we have in real life that we need to carry through this persona, through this facade that we have on social media. Right. Social media has always been like this highlight reel for people. Right. Now, that was cool for a certain season. Because social media, when they started branding people, they were like, yo, this is fire. Like, this is what entrepreneurship could be. Right. This is what fitness could be. Like, I do some crunches and then I got a 6-pack. Right. Like that, nothing really is like that. Right. Now, you could look at it 2 ways. You could look at it as, yo, they've gone through some things and they're showing us the final goal. Right. Or you could look at it as, yo, that's not reachable. And a lot of people do look at it like that. Yo, that's not reachable. Like, we follow those certain accounts for inspiration, but not necessarily thinking that we can do it, because those kind of accounts are really not showing us what to do. Right. So being your true authentic self is really being that person that just shows the journey, that really shows the success, but the L's that comes with whatever we do. Right. And a lot of people are scared to show those L's for whatever reason, what people may think of that and things like that. But I'm gonna give a really crazy example that's trending right now that actually shows L's and it has made money from it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna name a person. People are gonna be like, "Why are we talking about this?" Okay. Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Right.
Okay. Now he took a major L. Major. Yeah. Right. Say what you want about my man. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying right. I'm saying this 24-year-old kid named Daniel is a very smart kid. Right. Because he took an L, which by going to jail and taking that and created a song and has addressed it as several times as content, and he's making money off of it. Right. Now, granted, rappers have this whole persona that you have to live by. Right. Some actually live that life. Some don't. Clearly he didn't. That's neither here nor there. But what I'm saying is he took an L, addressed it, showed people this is what's happening. This is what I'm doing. I'm locked. I can't go nowhere. I'm getting relocated every single time. I'm showing you, yo, I'm living my own life. Right. Like I said, say what you want about my man. Right now, in this moment, he is living the most authentic, happiest life in confinement of his own crib. Because he is allowed to say whatever he wants to say, and he doesn't care what people say about him. He's going to embrace it. He's going to show, look, this lifestyle got me into jail, but I came back. I ratted on people. Yes, I did. But I got money. I'm happy. My girl is here. I'm getting my hair done all the time. I'm good. I have my cars. Like,
it's all rainbowed up and everything.
You just say whatever you want. But he is not scared of what people have to say about him. And when you live in your truth, don't care what people have to say, because they're not for you. There is a whole audience for you that your message, that your gift is for. And everybody else can have their 2 cents because we're on social media. It doesn't matter as long as you're catering to those who truly need your message. Tekashi 6ix9ine has whatever kind of message and is going to the correct audience for people who support him. Right. But some people who honestly live a way better lifestyle than him are hiding in a corner because they can't take what people may have to say. Not what are saying, but what may have to say. The greatest thing is that if we don't like you, we're going to keep scrolling. You see, what I'm doing? This is all we're going to keep doing. You're not that deep at this moment that you have to worry about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people saying you suck, I don't like you, this isn't great, blah, blah, blah. There is a whole audience waiting for you to be who you are, because there's no one else that says it like you, that does it like you, that looks like you, that can sell like you, that can speak like you, that can create like you. There's nobody else. You were not made as a copy. So I don't understand why people can't act their true authentic self and feel as if they have to copy what's already working. Those are great, like, best practices. There's people who came before us that is going to show us the way. Absolutely. Right. But it's our job to cultivate the perception of what our industry and what our brand is, and not really only rely on what was already done.
Wow. I got to get some bombs up in here, man. Make sure y'all donate to the podcast so I could like just go ahead and get one of the machines so I could just drop some bombs. Like, yo, Clue, Flex, hit me up. Like, let me hit that bomb real quick. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. So like I want people to understand in context exactly what you're saying. First of all, Nicky is not saying go out and beat Tekashi 6ix9ine.
No.
That's Tekashi 6ix9ine.
That's him.
You know what I'm saying? That's him. She's using him as an example, okay? Because I know somebody will sit there and take this and run with it and be like, oh, yeah, well, she said I can go. That's not what she said. What she said is live in your truth. Your truth. You, be who you are. If you bang like that, you know what I'm saying? Then, you know, people are waiting to hear your story. There's a whole audience out there for your particular story. It's 7.5 billion of us here on the planet. There's only there's only one of you out of the 7.5 billion. Think about that. So how authentic, you already made authentic in the first place. So continue to just push and grind or whatever to be who you are and live in your truth. And you may not be the person that gets 1 million views. You may not be that person. You may not be that person that blows up culturally or anything like that. Your impact may be in Willingboro, New Jersey. And that's it. Right. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Willingboro. That's where I'm from. So it's
all right. I see you. I see that.
That's like, you may just be there, you know. But what I also understand about Nicky, as we're here on the podcast, is that in the beginning, she talked about serving, and then now we're talking about being your authentic self, right? And you've gotten to the level now with ET where you guys are traveling everywhere. I see all the stuff like, online. You're always somewhere. I mean, everybody's in quarantine.
Well, before, absolutely. We are nowhere no more. We're nowhere anymore. We are virtually out in these streets. That's about it.
Right. And it don't matter where it was, if it was NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, whatever. Like, you guys were somewhere doing something in controlling the behind the scenes, and it all came from you serving first.
Yes.
And how important is that for people to just add value to someone in order to get to that next level?
How else are you supposed to build credibility for yourself?
Right.
People, and this is the thing, like, I would do it all over again, because I genuinely didn't come with the intent of getting on the squad or making a bag or anything like that. If somebody changes your life, if somebody impacted you in some kind of way, the only thing that I know how to do is add value back, right? Now, if we're talking about how to get opportunities by serving, right? You legitly have to think that you're not going to get anything back. Right? A lot of people will do that. Hey, let me do this for you. And within like a month, let's assess, right? And, let's come up with something. And I'm not knocking those people who do that, but that's not a long relationship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. I think long term. That's a short bag. And I will always have to work for a short bag, right? The relationship that I have with E is unmatchable, right? And because of that one relationship, has opened doors to many relationships, right? I know an Inky, I know an Ed Milet. I know like so many big names, right? And it's because of E. Because of serving, because of what he's added value in me. Now, I definitely tell people who are trying to grow a brand or trying to attach themselves to an influencer that you have to go with adding value first. There's too much noise in the world.
Yes.
There's too many people trying to get to the spot, trying to build the credibility that you are.
Yes.
So how are you going to stand out compared to everybody else? And that's really truly finding those gaps. That's truly being within your natural self and giving value every single day that you possibly can, because there's nobody who could say, nah, she can't do that. No, he can't do that, right? Because you've already proven a track record based off how much you served already. Like I did this, and I posted about this today. Like every task, whether it's big or small, I treated it like it was the last opportunity that I had. And some people look at the big picture as far as this is the opportunity I want, and I got to take this person to the airport, or that I got to get food for the squad as small and minute, and they take their time. They're late. They're not, because it's not what they really wanted. They're preparing you for that big opportunity. So on social media, I always say, give it your all, add as much value to it, because that's, for example, for speakers, that's your stage. For artists, that's your stage, you know, for authors and all that great stuff. Like social media is your TV show, is your radio, is your stage, it is where you practice, right? To show people what you have. And the only way you're going to do that is by adding value in their lives in a consistent basis, right? The second that they truly see who you are, because it takes several times to really be like, okay, I rock with you. Like you didn't ask your wife to marry you off the rip. Like you saw her and you were like, marry me.
Right.
And if you did, she'd probably be like, boy, bye. Like, hello, what is your name? What is, like,
first and foremost.
Like, can I know your name? Like, you're cute, but let me know your name. Hello, right? So a lot of us go for the jugular real quick. Yo, buy this. Yo, book me. Yo, do this. Like, do something. Yo, I don't even know your name, fam. Like, I don't know, like, where are you from? Like, what can you do? Like, how do you, like, when you just add value and not ask for anything in return, you're building a tribe. Understand, like, and let's go back to the whole wanting millions of followers. There's a influencer that was on the blogs, you could look it up, who had like 4 million followers and couldn't even sell 36 shirts. Right? But I know a person who has 1,000 followers who makes 6 figures off of that 1,000 followers, because she caters to that particular audience. With asking for anything in return, goes in all the time. Value. The second she drops something, it sells out. It doesn't matter what it is. Like I said, it doesn't matter what it is, because by you adding value to people's lives, you're captivating them. You're like, yo, at some point, I don't even know what you do. I just want to give back. Like, you've helped me get to the next level, which all brands should do. Regardless if you're a level 1, you should be helping people from a 0 get to level 1. If you are a level 2, you should help level 0 and 1 get to where you are, right? But the only way we can show people that is giving our stuff away, right? Giving our stuff away, and then people are going to be like, I'm here for it. Take me to the next level. Take me to the next, because I'm here. I'm all ears. People are listening to your podcast all the time, checking your content, this, that, and the third. People bought E's book just based off the videos from TGIM.
There it is.
Not because they wanted to read the book. It was
given for free. There it is. And you know, it's like, okay, and I get it. And you know what? Now that you break it down like that, this is something that I've probably been doing the past year and a half, almost 2 years now, because when my son went into the hospital and we had to shut our dance studio down, I'm like, I don't know how we gonna make no money, because at the end of the day, the bills got to get paid. There was no quarantine then. There was quarantine for us, but so it was still the bills were piling on, and every 1 in 4 families lose about 40% of their income when their child is impacted by cancer, and our family lost 65% of our income in this time, which is crazy. So we're still like climbing out, right? But my point to your point is that all I did was rock out with my son, dance, And really, I was just putting the videos out, you know, to just let my family and friends know that we're okay.
Yep.
That was the main reason why I was doing it, because, you know, everybody wanted to know we're okay. I didn't want to post like, you know, just picture after picture, you know, him being in the hospital in tubes and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted people to just understand like, yo, we good, we rocking, we don't need no negativity or anything like that. Think positive. We're going to get through this.
Right.
From that point on, we created the hashtag Fight Christian. And when we created the hashtag Fight Christian, I really didn't know that this was going to blow up the way it did.
Mm-hmm.
But after Sierra, you know, reposted our video, it was a wrap after that.
Right.
But all I kept doing was serving. And then we sold $75,000 in worth of t-shirts, you know, and I said, God, like, thank you. Like, you know, appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, to help us get through. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Of course, like, things cost, like, people don't even understand. It costs way more than that. Like, that was just a little bit of what we needed. But it was just, I just had this determination, like, yo, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep giving, you know. And I wanted to ask you, like, you guys have like a determination like no other. Like, it just seems like it doesn't matter how high you guys get on the level. There's always another level to get to, you know? Yeah. So speak about like where does your determination come from?
I'm big on just not really settling, right? So everybody has their own definition of success. I don't necessarily define success because I'm always going over different goals, right? So for some, success is like money, cars, all that great stuff. Some success is literally having a family. Some success, you know, I feel as if there's new problems that come every single day. And my success is tackling those problems every single day, right? Because with the world, there's new trends, there's new pain points, there's new light of certain perspectives that has to be addressed, right? And so though we, as far as the E-brand, can have motivation and inspiration on lock for one season, or whatever your definition of a season, decades and everything, then we had COVID.
Right.
So now it's time to step up again.
Yes.
Right? And then, okay, cool. After COVID, there's still going to be a problem because people have to adjust.
Yeah.
Cool. That's another thing we got to address, right? After that, then there's going to be another thing. So your job is never really done when your primary focus is impact. Right? And so for me and for the team, we understand that our job is never done because we have to always take care of those new problems, because if not, we're going to get beat. Because there's somebody waiting, like, let you slip up, let you not talk about COVID, let you not talk about rebuilding after COVID, let you not talk about how to not let this happen again and how to set up for success when the next pandemic, if another pandemic happens, if another financial crisis happen, if somebody in your family dies out of nowhere again, because that's what happened to a lot of people in this pandemic. Like, we have to always stay ready because there's somebody in the corner like, we got you. We got you. You know, there's certain people, like I said, that are always copying too. So we can't stay the same way. Yeah, our views are great. Yeah, our posts are great and everything like that. But people are starting to look at that, which I take as flattering. I don't knock it or nothing like that. But then a new person might look at that and might look at us and might not know the difference. Right? And if they're new to us, they may have followed that other person and think we're the copycats.
Right.
So we always have to evolve. So for me, understanding that it's a bigger picture, it's not about me and success. It's not about what I'm comfortable with. It's really about making sure that our job is always to be there for the people. And as long as there's new problems that come about, we're always going to be on top of it.
Amen. And you know, I lost a family member to COVID, you know, which was, for me, it was like, okay, Kenny, it's time to make this pivot. And it was early in the stages as well too. You know, and this is when we're all like still kind of figuring out like what we still really don't know, you know, too much. But it was early, and I'm like, man. And the first thing I did was I hit my own family up. Everyone that was in my family, I said, I'm calling a meeting. We don't have these meetings enough, you know. But I hate to do it during this time, but it still needed to be said.
Yeah.
And I was the, what do you call it? The introvert, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was the introvert always growing up. And now I'm speaking, you know, even more like, and now I'm an extrovert. And I say this now, like if you want an extroverted victory, you got to put in an extroverted effort. And in order to do that, like you're going to have to take some risk, and you're going to have to do some things, and you're going to make certain pivots. And that's what that was my message to my family. And I'm saying, listen, guys, I know that we keep up with each other online. We keep up with each other, you know, via text message sometimes. But right now, like, we got to think on another level in our own areas and where we're at in our lives. Absolutely. And we got to make this pivot shift, you know, and we got to do it now. We got to figure out, you know, what it is that God truly wants us to do. What is your true purpose here in life? Don't just sit down during COVID. Don't just like sit down and just relax and kick back like, oh, okay, like, you know, the president said stay in the house and then not do nothing. Right. You know, you got to do something. And then the unfortunately, we lost that family member, and it was like I kind of already knew, but it just turned up the volume even more on the situation. Like, let's turn it up even. Let's turn up the volume. Let's not get down. God called him, you know, and it was his time to go. Unfortunately, it was for this. But what's the lesson for us? So my question to you is that, you know, what's the pivot for people that can't even fathom right now on what is going on? How do they shift from two places and come from two areas? I'm coming from the business area, the business side.
Yep.
And then I'm coming from that general standpoint, that person that just goes to that 9-to-5 side. Like, how do they make that shift?
That's an easy answer for me. Is everything is virtual. Like, it's all about virtual experiences right now, business wise and 9-to-5 wise, right? So business wise, for anybody who has a business, it is definitely time to take your personal brand, your brand period, to the next level, right? Looking at what can bring money online, whether it's courses, whether it's an ebook, whether it is virtual events, you know, whatever you do, you have to give a virtual experience right now, because all the attention is on our phones and on our computers. Yep. So it's not that your audience, your customers are gone. They're just not in the physical. They're now all reachable here. And actually, you have a bigger audience virtually, because now you can talk to people in Australia. Now you can talk to people in Nigeria. I was just looking at the stats that I have for my followers, and I have people from Nigeria following me. Wow. I have people from Canada following me. I have people from UK following me. And I'm like, yo, I wasn't even aware, right? Like Lagos. I'm like, oh, what is Lagos?
Yeah, like, where's that? Right.
Asia, all this stuff. And I'm like, and it's a good amount. And I'm like, how do I attract? It's not like I hashed it. I don't know, put that. How does it? So you have to understand, people are looking at you, even though they're not buying you, right? Per se, they're looking at you, right? So biggest and the big word for this whole COVID for businesses have been pivot. You have to pivot into a virtual experience. DJs have done it. Shout out to DJ D9. Shout out to the whole versus battles and everything like that. Because you have to understand, these are people who make the most money off of events, touring, parties. These are things that are not happening right now. And they all created a virtual experience, social media, that not only brings brand awareness, not only brings some kind of education, entertainment, motivation to people's lives during COVID, but because they did that, their money went up. Because you're serving the people during the time that they need it. Right? So you're looking at right now and like, yo, I can't make the most money. Right? Well, people can't pay their bills. So are you really worried about you, or are you really, we're here for the people? Right? So you have to be really realistic with that first and foremost. Second, if you're really paying attention to what's happening on social media, the people who are winning, whose money did go up, their price went up, are those who are truly serving during this time of COVID, right? So they're going on every week and providing entertainment for the people. Some are doing it every single day. Some are giving free events that they would normally do. There are concerts happening. There's giveaways happening, serving the people during the time that they need it. Because when you're there for people when they need it, they're always going to remember that, and they're going to be loyal, and they're going to be part of your tribe. So your price goes up because you were there when their money was low. So no matter what you do, they're going to now find a way to pay you because you understood their needs at the time. So for businesses, I'm going to legitly say, figure out a virtual experience that you can do that is indirect selling, that is going to add value to your audience. Right? The second part, for my 9-to-5 people, if you have not started a brand yet, this is the perfect time.
There it is.
This is the perfect time. You can't sit here and say, my job is taking too much time. It's not anymore.
Nope.
Right? You can't legitly say that I don't know about my ideas. I don't know how to do it anymore. You have time to go on YouTube University. Right? And figure it out. You have time to sign up for some of these courses, get your knowledge up. You should be learning and executing during this time. So you can create something for your own, as well as when your 9-to-5 starts back up, or if it already is, whatever, you able to take care of yourself financially. Now, it's not going to go rocket like boom, right? It's not going to go off the chain unless you had the mask. If you've been selling masks, you're out here winning. All right. But
real quick, just to let you know, my wife has been going in on the mask, like hard body. Her and my daughter, you know what I'm saying? They've been rocking out. My daughter even like created her own lip gloss.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
listen.
My son Caleb, he's out here. He created this whole thing called Martian X, which is dealing with astronomy, and so we got him this telescope, and they going. He's 11. My daughter's 16. So it ain't no excuse. Like, let's make it happen, right?
Facts. I'm just saying that something like this, it's real. Something like this happens. What we thought it would never happen, happened. You know, a lot of people, the unemployment's at its highest. People are going through depression. People don't know what to do. Right. And so for you to make sure this does not happen to you, or it's a little bit easier next time, start creating something for yourself. Start creating that brand So when it is time,
Become
you are
essential.
good.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
become
Absolutely.
essential. You got to become essential, something that people need. And this is why I think that, as a speaker in Eric Thompson, all this, the great speakers.
Yeah.
What I've noticed is that we know that, number one, the depression has gone up, the
Yep.
child abuse has gone up,
Yep.
domestic violence has gone up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The suicide rates have, are climbing as well too. And it's just like, okay, as speakers, we are the supplier to the people. And we got to make sure that, and we're essential as well too, because we got to give these people, the motivation that they need to continue to move forward. Some people, they just can't do it on their own, right? So I'm a huge hip hop head, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I'm a hip hop dancer, you know what I'm saying? And I was thinking, I'm like, yo, who could I think that would be a motivational speaker in today's time that, is a great hip hop, artist? And immediately I thought Tupac, because I'm thinking like, dang, like Tupac was super deep with his words, just without rapping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In your opinion, who do you think would be a great motivational speaker, old school, new school, in the hip hop world?
Instantly, I'm always going to say Nipsey.
Okay. Yes.
Nipsey for sure. Was all about ownership.
Yeah.
Was all about giving back to the community. So during this time, I feel like he would kill the game.
Yeah.
In giving back, because that's what he did naturally. Giving back during this time, I think Nip would definitely kill the game with that. I think Diddy has his moments, but I think Diddy's going through a lot. Diddy is not. He has had a rough storm lately.
Yeah.
If it was normal Diddy, he would be killing it. But he is going through a lot this year, like in past couple of months.
Not just this year, the past.
Right, like
in general,
past year, he's been going through a lot.
Been pretty rough for him, And if I could say anything to Diddy or to anybody that, even if you're on that status and you're on, that level, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter, like, what type of success that you've been able to achieve. We're all human. We all experience some type of hurt, some type of pain. Obviously, his profile is more glorified than most, because of his accomplishments and what he's done. But at the end of the day, people got to understand the man is still a human being and still goes through things. And I want people to just understand that it doesn't matter who you are in this world. We all put our pants on the same one leg at a time. You know what I'm saying? We all use the bathroom, like we all eat, so we have to understand that we have to be there even for him, right now. You know what I'm saying? He may not know us personally or anything. I never met Diddy before, but if you are listening, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, just keep your head up, brother. You know what I'm saying? Keep your head up. And he's always shown a level of, positivity to me, especially like, after Biggie was gone, and I just seen like the shift in him, and I became a fan of his music. And it's just amazing to me. So I think that we should always do more for, the people that are supplying us with great music, great tunes, and all about the positivity. What's your take on how we as the people should be there for, one another, for the people that have served us?
I think instantly your tribe is always going to be there for you. Right. They're always going to show love as much as they can. For certain celebrities, it almost seems unreachable, so all we can do is make sure that we send some love, some comments, share whatever they have. Hopefully they'll read the DMs and everything like that. And as much as we know that they may be going through something, don't feel as if they may never read your stuff. Still do it off the strength because you want that same kind of vibe, I'm big on the whole golden rule: treat others as you would like to be treated.
Yes.
And so if you are going through a hard time and you want people to be respectful, but at the same time show love,
Right.
because you're going to need it, then give that back, regardless of what their status is, you know, regardless if it is, you know, the highest of the high. Like it doesn't matter how rich or how poor they are, they're
Right.
still humans. And so yeah, I'm real big on just like giving the hearts, giving a nice word to it and everything like that, because it doesn't matter if they read it or not. I genuinely mean it.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I wanted to touch on another topic and everything. We got a little bit of time left, but
Okay.
I wanted to ask, you know, about the young women, you know. I mean, my daughter's 16 and she's at that level now where she's, you know, trying to find what she wants to actually do. She also she dances as well,
Right.
you know, and obviously we can't be in the studio right now or be taking class or anything. But during this the COVID-19, and you know, what kind of advice can you give to young females that maybe some of them may want to go down the route of the digital world and becoming you know, into editing and different softwares and stuff like that, and ITs, and you know, how do you pump up, you know, the women, young or old, it really doesn't matter, but how do you get them to that next level?
For me, I always say that the way you are is perfectly fine, right? And to try whatever you want to try, because there's no right or wrong for what's happening.
Right.
You know, you can create a whole brand for yourself on YouTube of how to tie sneakers, and people are going to watch it. There are people who legitimately watch people eat. That is a brand.
Right.
Right? The only thing that I always say is like, just be comfortable trying new things out the way you would try it out, not the way somebody else has done it. Like, because you are what's going to bring in the money. You're the one that's going to create the name.
Right.
You're the one that people are going to know. So go on. If you want to be a YouTube influencer, because I know a lot of young people are like, I want to be a YouTube influencer. I want to be on Instagram influencer. I want to be an influencer, right? You have to be yourself. All the influencers are themselves.
Right.
Even like I said before, the 8-year-old kid who's making $26 to $28 million opening up toys.
Yes.
What do kids do? They open up toys, right? When he grows older, he'll probably be doing something else. But in that journey of him getting older, we're going to see the evolution, and he's still going to make money for being exactly who he is. So if you like dancing right now, go dance your butt off, right? Document it. Show people what it is to be who you are, because there's somebody who is looking at YouTube right now, looking at Instagram, looking at social media, period, trying to relate to somebody.
Right.
And they're waiting for you to put out something that they can feel accepted about, right? And so it's never too early and it's never too late, right? Because the kids are going to need to start, but also the grown people are going to need to start too, because some feel as if it is too late. Like, some females are like, you know what? Cool. Like, I'm just going to stick to this 9 to 5. I'm just going to stick to this. I can't create anything. You have experience. Let me talk to them real quick. You have experience that no one else has, right? That still needs to be out to the world, right? For the young ones, you have this new vibe, this relevant kind of thing that we've never seen, that you are able to cultivate what we think about the world right now. Like, you tell us what is going to be trending, nobody else, right? And for the grown females, you have laid the foundation of what was before, right? You lay out the blueprint to make other people's lives a little bit easier, but you're being selfish by holding that in because you don't want to bring that out to the world because you care about what people say. So all I'm telling you is, be whoever you want to be and just document it. And whether it's video, whether it's picture, whether it's written, we need that new vibe and we need that experience put out to the world, because there are people still struggling through depression. There's people who still struggling through identity crisis because you haven't arrived to what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes, 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 and yes. So ladies, y'all heard it, man. It's time to go to work. We got to go to work. Stop playing. We need y'all out here in these streets, man. Yo, so awesome, so awesome. So I have like one more question for you.
Go ahead.
Okay?
Yeah.
I ask this question to everyone that comes on the podcast.
Okay.
Especially during this time, because we're in quarantine.
Yeah.
And if Nicky has had all 7.5 billion people in the world, you had everyone's ear.
Yeah.
At one time.
Yeah.
What encouraging words would you say to them in order to get through this pandemic?
I would honestly say that you were perfectly made, and that just because the world is crumbling, you don't have to. You have to show everything that's happening in your world, because you're going to impact somebody just by living your true self.
Mm.
And so no matter if you are in the highs or the lows right now, there's somebody who needs to hear that, see that, read that.
Mm.
Because there's introverts and extroverts of the world. So I don't expect everybody to do video, right? But people need to experience what you have to get through this pandemic.
Right.
So just embrace that and get to work.
Mm. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Nicky, I got one more thing to do with you.
What's
all
that?
right? So we're going to play a game. Are you down?
Let's go.
All right, cool. So check it out. So the game is called In the Clutch. I'm Kenny Clutch.
Okay.
And the game is called In the Clutch.
Okay.
So for those that don't know, okay, I started a company called In the Clutch back in 2009. It's my first dance company I ever started. And In the Clutch is a acronym. All right. So it's INDACLUTCH. Inspirational dancers creatively linking upon the culture of hip hop. INDACLUTCH.
Okay. I see you.
Yeah. Inspirational dancers creatively linking upon the culture of hip hop.
Right.
So I'm going to give you a letter.
Okay.
You give me a positive word from that letter.
Okay.
Cool?
Oh, wow. This is like the word game. All right. We good. We out here.
All right. Here we go. Ready?
Okay.
All right. C.
Courageous.
L.
Lightning.
U.
You. Understandable.
T.
Tremendous.
C.
You said C?
Mm-hmm.
Again?
Yep, again.
I was like, C again?
Yes.
Did I say courage already? Did I say
Oh,
courage?
you say courage.
Courage, there we go.
All right. H.
H, humorous.
There it is. That's clutch. That's clutch. That's clutch. Yes, Nicky S. Nicky S. Where can the people find you at?
Listen, this is Nicky's, NICKY with an S, on Instagram and now Facebook, because now we doing a super dope like Facebook live show. But Nicky S on Instagram. I'm super active on Instagram. Or if you want to be part of the text community, text gang, where I'm sending like daily social media content, branding tips, just text me. 718-400-7061 is the number. I'm answering all text messages. That is not like an automated joint. Like I'm in there. Like,
yeah,
I'm different.
Let's get it. Let's get it. And where can the people learn more about Eric Thomas and Associates and, you know, Breathe University and stuff like that? Let's go ahead and plug that.
Yeah, everything is on ethinspires.com. Literally, just put ethinspires.com or literally put on Google Eric Thomas, and you will find everything that you need. ET the Hip Hop Preacher on Instagram, on Facebook, Twitter, all that great stuff. yeah, we out here.
Let's go. So everybody, make sure that you guys are going to follow Nicky, follow Eric Thomas and Associates. We're going to have all their information in the description below, whether you're watching this on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Google, all the different platforms that we got in the world. You know, it's going to be on the description, is going to be in below. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, click that bell if you haven't done so already, if you're watching this on YouTube, and share this with your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your auntie, your sister, your brother, your stepdad, your stepdaughter, your grandma, your grandpa, your great ancestor. I don't care who it is. You can share it with the president of Russia for all I care. Just make sure you share it with somebody out here in this world. We're pushing out great content, great material for you and your family to get your mind right. And like I always say, when we change the mind, we change the game. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow will worry about itself. And today is all we have. So make sure you go out and impact somebody today. It's your boy, Kenny Clutch, on the Clutchvision podcast. Check y'all later. Peace.